I'm just going to ask you, viewer, right now, imagine what would it be like if you had a leader who had a clear and compelling vision of the future, who was seeking out new team members, who found you and plucked you up and said, I think that you are going to be extraordinary. I think you're going to be the superhero the world needs. And in order for you to do that, I need you to be on this team. And here's your training opportunities. Who sent you to the dojo, who sent you to education, who made sure that you had all the skills that you needed, who built you up, who went into the battle with you, who went into the project with you, stood shoulder to shoulder and helped you out, who was willing to put their own reputation, their own self-comfort, their own ego on the line to sacrifice to make sure that you succeeded. How would you feel if you had that leader? How would you feel if you were put in that position, if you were that well supported? Right? That'd be pretty great, wouldn't it? All right, so now I'm going to ask you to imagine, what would it be like if you were that leader? What would you do differently today? What would you look at your calendar on your phone right now? What jobs would you do that are on that calendar if you were Morpheus, if you were the magnanimous leader with the vision and the compassion and the dojo and the self-sacrifice? Which things would you choose to do? What things would you do that you're maybe not doing right now? What things would you let slide off your plate because they really aren't essential to achieving that audacious and worthy goal? They're not essential to unlocking that limit break in the world. That's the challenge we're after here on WonderTour. That's the challenge that we're aspiring to take on as magnanimous leaders, is to learn from these archetypal stories that we can keep in our heads as like, oh, if I was Obi-Wan, what would I do right now? What would I do this week? What would I do this year? What would I do if I was Morpheus, if I was Gandalf? If I was Bell in this moment facing this challenge, how would I respond? And that's challenge with the concept of the limit break framework, with the skill sets that we've identified and the ones we're going to continue to mature. That's what we're aspiring to do, is to help us move forward as the magnanimous leaders that we all really, really want and aspire to be.
Because, Brian, in the end, we all have the opportunity to choose each day who we're going to be. Who we were in the past, who we were earlier today, doesn't have to be who we are going forward. So you and I come together on this WonderTour to be inspired by these leaders who we see doing things in a way that enacts positive change in the world, that creates this flow state, that creates flourishing. And they do it by being the Obi-Wan. They do it by being the Gandalf. And that's what we're trying to do. So that's why we're on this WonderTour. We want to be the type of people who can make that change in the world. And we know that it's a journey, it's a process. None of us is going to be the perfect Obi-Wan. None of us is going to be perfect all the time. But to be able to take steps every single day and to choose today who we're going to be, that's what it's about.
Yes, it is. That's a nice segue. We close every episode of WonderTour with a quote from our favorite Greek philosopher, Heraclitus: character is destiny. Who you are will determine your outcomes. And the thing that we are discovering as we go along is that character can be cultivated. And that's what we're here to do on WonderTour.